This Dodge Ram truck, $80,000, instantly became $100,000.
But you know what? Let me ask you this, okay?
Yes.
How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around Europe? Okay. How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around India? I mean, not many, I bet. Why? Because they don't buy our cars. And that's what President Trump is trying to change. Maybe Dodge should start building them here and selling them here.
All right, folks, this is hilarious. A MAGA Fox News host named Maria Bartiromo had a meltdown on live TV during a segment that she hosted when a Fox News reporter was relaying to her a very specific, very concrete example of the disastrous consequences of Trump's trade war against Canada and Mexico. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Again, so interesting. Remember, folks, Fox overall is incredibly biased. Of course, you remember the $787 million they had to pay back in 2022 or 2023 as a loyalty tied to Donald Trump, that defamation settlement against Dominion voting systems, where they knowingly signal boosted Trump's defamatory 2020 election lies. We've never seen anything like it. But it's also important to note that, there are people like Jessica Tarlov employed by the network, and the hard news part of Fox News, they still do a good job, especially from time to time. And I want you to see the clash between the MAGA opinion part of Fox, embodied in this case by Maria Bartiromo, and a Fox News reporter who's with a camera and a microphone on the ground detailing the factual consequences, the concrete thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars consequences of Trump's disastrous trade war. So we're going to play these clips and unpack them together.
And the auto industry expects to feel the impact of President Trump's tariffs. Fox Business's Jeff Flock is in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania this morning with a first-hand look. Jeff.
Could be ground zero for the impact on the tariffs, Maria. This Dodge Ram truck, $80,000, instantly became $100,000.
And the auto
So you can see where this is going. Again, that is staggering, right? You're talking about $20,000 increase just at the drop of a hat because of Donald Trump's vanity, his narcissism, his bullying ways, triggering a painful and unnecessary trade war with our three biggest trading partners. This next clip goes into more detail and shows the meltdown that Bartiromo has when she says, "Oh shit, we're actually showing the disastrous specific consequences of our cult leaders' decisions. That's not good."
Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
Impact.
Dramatic. I sold order for a customer. $80,000 truck. It's $100,000 now. So he's not going to buy the truck. It's going to sit on my lot at the higher interest rates we're paying right now for floor plan, and nobody's going to buy the truck because it just had a $20,000 price increase.
Right. Kelley Blue Book will put the number up. They say the average vehicle will go up by about $3,000. Does it sound right to you?
No, it will not. We don't have the broad stroke. We don't have the linear, the tight strokes. But to me, it's a 25% tariff. So that affects our parts that come from over these countries, and a whole bunch of our cars.
And you've been basing your business model on free trade, basically. This is what the American Automakers Policy Council says, Maria, in response to this. They say our American automakers invested billions in the U.S. to meet the requirements of the current free trade agreement. They shouldn't have their competitiveness undermined by tariffs that'll raise the cost of building vehicles in the U.S. and stymie investment in the American workforce while competitors from the outside of North America benefit. The German, there's no tariff on the German cars coming in now.
No, they're
Japanese.
They're going to be okay. But think about it. We built our business around that. The OEMs built their business around that, and now it changes on a dime. And we can't build a $4 billion plant overnight in the United States. So I think building in the United States is great. I think enhancing the participation from the other countries on the other things, but this is pretty radical.
I hear you. There you go, Maria, where the rubber meets the road here.
So we're going to get to a reaction. I just want to say, Listen, that's a Fox reporter on the ground doing the work in Pennsylvania, perhaps the most important of the 7 swing states. Trump won that swing state. He was nearly assassinated in that swing state. That swing state is very impactful, very monumental, very momentous regarding the MAGA movement and Trump's return to power. And you have this, you got this guy, this American citizen who's running, a dealership, a family dealership, saying, listen, there's a guy who came in, this truck was going to be $80,000 because of Trump's tariffs. It just went to $100,000 because, of course, as we know, during the manufacturing of many vehicles, a vehicle sold in the United States might cross the Mexico and Canadian borders, the northern and southern borders here in the United States, 7 or 8 times by the time it's ready to roll off the lot, right? And if every time it has to hit a 25% tariff during import and export, I mean, it's staggering. It's staggering. So again, I just want to point out, this is a perfectly reasonable segment to do. Well, I want you to see Maria Bartiromo's very unreasonable response. And again, note that David Kelleher, I think was the gentleman's last name, how he said, if the goal is to incentivize plants to be made here in the United States, that can't happen in a week or a month. That's going to take years potentially. So that in mind, here we go.
All right, great. Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, thank you. Thank you so much. Jeff Flock at the Dodge Ram plant. Not plant. It's not a plant, Chris. They're selling cars. Thank you, dealership. But you know what? Let me ask you this, okay?
Yes.
How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around Europe? Okay. How many Dodge Rams do you see driving around India? I mean, not many, I bet. Why? Because they don't buy our cars. And that's what President Trump is trying to change. Maybe Dodge should start building them here and selling them here.
It's so funny, like, even the look aside, like, she's desperate to cover something like, oh shit, we just ran the segment, making it personal, making it concrete, taking the abstract out of it and actualizing it. You want a car? Well, it's entirely possible that it might become 25% more expensive as a consequence of these capricious, totally unjustified tariffs against our 2 biggest trading partners. 3 total if you count the retaliatory tariffs against China as well. I mean, this is staggering. And these plants don't, even if it were in Dodge's financial interest to do this, maybe, like, even if we grant the premise, it doesn't happen overnight. That's why the most successful tariffs are, number 1, not sweeping, not indiscriminate, literally everything that crosses the border, 25% tariff. It's usually targeted, surgical, and there's a grace period associated with it. It's not like you've got 24 hours to build an auto plant in Detroit and start, pumping out Dodge Rams. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. And watching Maria Bartiromo, just like, she's flabbergasted. She's like, how the hell am I going to salvage this? Well, maybe we should. This is exactly what Trump wants. He's not going about it in a cogent, persuasive way, right? I mean, if he really wanted to incentivize these auto plants to return to the United States, you offer a grace period. Don't punish your own citizens, which is what Trump is doing. However, as I mentioned in previous videos about the Trump trade war, I've said it before, I will say it again. You never know with Trump. This could last a month, a week, a year, or, according to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, maybe even 24 hours. This is what Howard Lutnick had to say also on Fox News about the Trump trade war against Canada and Mexico.
He's going to come out today angry that Americans are still being killed. Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow. So somewhere in the middle will likely be the outcome. The president moving with the Canadians and Mexicans, but not all the way.
Just to clarify,
So, according to Howard Lutnick, this might end, he might roll it back tomorrow. Trump might roll back the tariffs tomorrow. You never know. If that happens, what will the reason be? Who knows? It could be that the backlash is so severe, the market reaction, because of course we saw a stock market crash. It could be that got to Trump. Who knows? But I just love the MAGA Fox host freak out. And I imagine if this trade war continues, we're going to see more of those. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.